Molina picking his way on the right side, and he breaks loose. Touchdown.
Manziel going deep, has a man, it's caught. Ryan Swope, touchdown Aggies.
Here they come, everybody. It's intercepted. A&M's got it back.
Coughs up the football, picked up by A&M. This will be a touchdown, Tremaine Jacobs.
Got him.
No, they didn't. Oh, my gracious.
Yep.
How about that?
Welcome to the TexAgs Cotton Bowl Preview Special, presented by the 12th Man Foundation. Here's your host, Gabe Bach.
Welcome to Cowboy Stadium in Arlington, Texas, site of the 77th AT&T Cotton Bowl Classic between Texas A&M and Oklahoma. I'm Gabe Bach of TexAgs.com, joined by senior editor of TexAgs, Billy Lucci. And Billy, storylines galore entering this matchup between a pair of former conference foes.
Yeah, Gabe, it's hard to even know where to begin with this. There's so many storylines. You start with the mentor-pupil factor of Bob Stoops and Kevin Sumlin meeting in this Cotton Bowl. You go to the Big 12 SEC showdown. And it's not just the Big 12 SEC showdown of those two power conferences, but it's Texas A&M, the team that left the Big 12, the team that has gone into the SEC and contrary to what a lot of people thought, thrived in that league in year one. It's the only Big 12 SEC bowl game. You've got the rivalry renewed between the Aggies and Sooners, who have played every year since 1996. Looked like they were going to take a long break. Instead, you have the Oklahoma Sooners taking on Johnny Manziel, the Heisman Trophy winner. How does he handle the month, the banquet circuit, as they call it? And you've got the Heisman winner coming in looking to put the wraps on the most incredible individual season, not only in Texas A&M history, but maybe one of the most amazing years in college football history. And then finally, there's the Oklahoma Sooners as the underdog. This is interesting now because Oklahoma really seems to embrace this. Texas A&M comes in carrying the top 10 ranking. They're out of the big bad SEC. They took down Alabama. Oklahoma, their players and coaches, you can tell this week, are embracing that underdog role, which is ironic because, again, it was Texas A&M that was supposed to go into the SEC, have it not pan out, and rue the decision to leave. Now you've got Oklahoma, a Sooner team that since Bob Stoops arrived, has beaten A&M every year but two since 1999, and they're coming in now as in their minds anyway, the underdog. So that's pretty fascinating. And then a lot of Aggies playing their final game. A large group of very accomplished seniors. A lot of guys will be playing their last game in an A&M uniform here in their home state of Dallas.
Now, Billy recently sat down with Texas A&M head coach Kevin Sumlin and Johnny Manziel, the Heisman-winning quarterback, to discuss the matchup with the Sooners.
Does this feel to you, you've been in a lot of BCS games, does this kind of have a BCS feel with everything surrounding it?
I've been fortunate to coach in every one of the BCS games, and you know, because of the venue, you know, in Jerry's World, and now with it being sold out, the possibility of upwards of 90,000 plus fans, a Friday night game with everybody watching, there's no doubt that besides the national championship game, this will be one of the biggest games, probably the biggest game out there as far as implications nationally, but also from viewership, television viewership. And, you know, that place is going to be loud for this game. And for our guys, it's a great way, I think, for our seniors to finish up their career, you know, trying to become one of only, I think, 6 teams in the history of Texas A&M to win 11 games in 118 years of football, which would make them one of the better teams to ever play football here. So our team, our guys understand that, and we approach it, bowl games the same way. You know, for us, it's a cap off of a great year, wanting to send our seniors out in the right way, but it's also the beginning of next year, because what it does is it sets you up for some momentum in the off season and probably, you know, propels you into some a little bit higher ranking situation to start the preseason next year.
Texas A&M, Oklahoma, when you see them on tape, and you watch plenty of football, so as a football team, what makes them so dangerous, such a good football team?
I think you look at the people that they get, the recruits they get, the people that come into the OU program, they're some of the best athletes in the country. So I feel like they're a team that regardless of what scheme they run, they're going to have a leg up athletically wise. So that's the thing that they like to do. They like to say, hey, we're bigger than you. Hey, we're gonna pound you. We're gonna do what we do scheme wise, but we're gonna make sure that you know that our athletes are better than yours. So I think when you look on tape, you kind of see that a little bit.
What's the key for y'all overcoming that and winning 11 games? For, as Coach Sumlin said, to become one of those one-hand teams where there's only been 5 or 6 ever that have done that here.
I think the big thing for us is just do what we do. I mean, we got a great game plan going into the game. Just execute that, establish tempo. Let's try and run these guys so they can't run anymore.
Coming up, an interview with Cotton Bowl Chairman Tommy Bain. You're watching the TexAgs Cotton Bowl Preview Special.
The TexAgs Cotton Bowl Preview Special is presented by the 12th Man Foundation, funding scholarships, programs, and facilities in support of championship athletics.
Welcome back to the TexAgs Cotton Bowl Preview Special from Cowboy Stadium. We're looking ahead to Texas A&M and Oklahoma, and we're joined right now by Cotton Bowl Chairman Tommy Bain. Tommy, it's been a great week so far up here in Dallas-Fort Worth. How excited are you guys to kick off tomorrow night right here at Cowboy Stadium between the Aggies and Sooners?
Well, we're very excited, and you know, Texas A&M and Oklahoma both bring such great tradition and history, and you know, great players, and as we have stated numerous times, we think this is the best matchup outside of the national championship this year.
Yeah, and take us back to how the situation played out. Selection Sunday, we'll call it, and how it all played out, which led to an opportunity to invite these two teams to play in the game.
Well, it was a wild Saturday night and Sunday morning, and we believe we're the beneficiaries of the way it all fell out. But you know, everyone was focused on Northern Illinois, but the other thing that was happening was the Nebraska loss. And so early Sunday morning, some of the computer gurus were forecasting that Nebraska may have dropped just far enough in the polls that was going to bump Oklahoma out of their opportunity for the BCS. And while we hated that for Oklahoma, it opened up a tremendous opportunity for us. And of course, then it was just a matter of, you know, could we garner Texas A&M on the other side of the ball? And we worked with the SEC office, worked out great. We're excited.
Yeah, so many storylines all the way around, Tommy, in this game. Two teams that know quite a bit about each other.
They really do. You know, they've played for many years in the Big 12. Now they're in 2 different conferences. Oklahoma being the co-champion of the Big 12, and Texas A&M having such a wonderful first year in the SEC. I think it provides a matchup that fans, not just regionally, but nationally are interested in. And I think it's going to be a huge television audience, and I think both teams have a lot to prove.
Historically speaking, I go back to the 1968 Cotton Bowl too, when you're talking about the storyline of teacher versus pupil. And you know it as an Aggie. Gene Stallings brought his Aggies up here to the Cotton Bowl in 1968 against Bear Bryant and the Crimson Tide, his former coach and his former boss. And of course, we know the story. A&M wins the game and Bear Bryant lifts him up on the old Cotton Bowl as the Aggies won that game. But you have that same storyline here with Kevin Sumlin having worked under Bob Stoops for 5 years, 2003 to 2007 at OU.
Exactly, and 2 things on that. First of all, you know, what a wonderful thing to have 2 coaches that respect each other and like each other so much. You know, on Selection Sunday, when I called both of them said they were getting ready to have dinner with one another in New York. And you know, that's a great thing. And so not only will these 2 teams play as hard as they can, but there's also such great respect between the 2 men and the 2 institutions, and we always love that in a bowl game. And the other thing, going back to 1968, I was at that game, and one of my great memories is Coach Bryant picking up, you know, Coach Stallings. And in my Cotton Bowl history, that's still one of my favorite aspects of the Cotton Bowl. I still have that picture framed.
How many Cotton Bowls have you attended, Tommy?
You know, my first one was 1957.
Wow.
My father took me. I was a little 8-year-old boy, and Jim Brown and you know, and Jim Swink of Syracuse and TCU, and he took me to see that game. And I've been to most of them since then, except when I served in the Air Force. But the times I've been in Dallas, which is most of my life, I've come to almost every Cotton Bowl game.
And then finally, with all the change surrounding college football and the new structured playoff format forthcoming, how bright is the future of the Cotton Bowl intermingled with all of that change?
It's extremely bright, and we're very, very excited about where we're positioned. AT&T has been just tremendous for us. Fox Television has been tremendous, helping put us, in a great position. This spring will be a high water mark, I think, for the Cotton Bowl, because we will be talking both about becoming one of those 6 bowls that will be the Access Bowls, the new BCS. We feel very confident that we're going to put a tremendous bid together, and we'll be considered highly for that. We would anticipate we'd be one of those. And also, the first national championship game is going to be decided in the first quarter of this year. And we're right in the thick of that, and we're hoping we can land that first national championship game in 2015.
Great things to come for the Cotton Bowl. Tommy, Happy New Year to you, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, and congratulations to everything TexAgs is doing.
Thank you so much. That's Cotton Bowl Chairman Tommy Bain. When we return, we'll turn our attention to Johnny football and take a close look at the record-setting and Heisman-winning season of Texas A&M quarterback Johnny Manziel. This is the TexAgs Cotton Bowl Preview Special.
Manziel going deep, put it in the books, touchdown Aggies.
Manziel still on the run, he'll score.
Stiff arm. Pressure on Manziel. It'll be 6 for Texas A&M.
You cannot defend that play.
Oh my gracious.
Yep.
How about that?
Johnny football with a night to remember.
Welcome back to the TexAgs Cotton Bowl Preview Special. Billy Lucci recently had an opportunity to catch up with Texas A&M quarterback Johnny Manziel to discuss his magical run to the Heisman Trophy, a 10-2 season, and much more.
Manziel going deep, put it in the books, touchdown Aggies.
Manziel takes off again. Stiff arm.
Manziel trying to put it into it. Johnny football with a night to remember.
Billy Lucci here with Heisman Trophy winner Johnny Manziel. Has that set in yet? Are you used to hearing that attached to your name yet?
It's getting better as the weeks go on. It's kind of starting to grow and really sink in, kind of away from the surrealness that was the first couple weeks after the Heisman. But it's kind of starting to settle in, and it feels good.
Take us through real quickly the last month for you. It had to have been a complete whirlwind. 1 or 2 moments that stand out, other than obviously winning the trophy?
Just getting to meet some of the people that I have, getting to go on Jay Leno and see his cars in his garage, and then go on the show, and then do some things like Letterman, and some of the other things have been really fun, and the people that you meet along the way have been good, and that's really been the highlight for me.
Tell me, meeting LeBron James, I mean, for any kid growing up, that's a dream come true. My era, it was Michael. It's like meeting Michael Jordan. Just what was that like? And to hear him say on that post-game interview, well, I'm really looking forward to getting a chance to meet him.
That was the craziest thing that I'd heard, because it's still different for me for people to know who I am. So it's different for me to walk by and somebody, and I walk by before I'm getting ready to meet LeBron, and Darius Rucker walks by, and then he talks to me and says, "Will you take a picture with my son?" Well, I'm like, "Will you take a picture with me? My mom is your biggest fan. You're a world-renowned superstar." And then LeBron comes out of the locker room. He's one of the most down-to-earth guys. He's just sitting there talking. He's hanging out. We're just sitting there and just sitting and talking. That's all about being in Miami for the national championship game. I try to catch a game. So it's just cool to see all these people that you looked up to and you might not ever get a chance to meet, and then getting to meet them and see how cool they are. It's been a dream come true.
On the football side of it now, you get back, you have practice. How's that been going as far as the team goes? How have y'all been practicing in preparation for this Cotton Bowl?
It was a little rusty at first whenever we got back with news of Coach Kingsbury, kind of trying to adjust into the offensive side of the ball. I know we struggled for a week or so, and then now I don't think we've really missed a beat. We've kind of got back into the routine, got back into what we want to do, and really preparing for the bowl game and what script and what plays we want to run.
I thought you had a great tweet when Cliff left, and you said, "Coach Sumlin's got us this far. Why would anything change?" What is it about him that allowed y'all to get this far, this fast?
I went on a little bit of a roll with the tweets that night, but for me that was something that people always like to freak out. People always like to say, well, this happens, the world's coming to an end. And that's not the case. I mean, Coach Sumlin, he's done everything in his power. He's done everything he could do to get us where we are today. He's brought in a great staff. He's brought in great everything. He's hyped up this school with jerseys, with new gear, with trying to get Adidas in here. Everything that we could have wanted as players, he's done for us. Why would that stop now? Why wouldn't he put us in the best situation to go out and win this bowl game? And that's what I wanted people to know, that Coach Sumlin is the head coach, and he does what he does for a reason, and he's the best at it for a reason. So I have my faith in him. I know that whatever he says, it's going to be the right choice.
Well, I bet you can't wait to get back on
Can't
the
wait to
field.
do it.
And the Aggies can't wait to see y'all.
Yes, sir.
Good luck at the Cotton Bowl.
Thank you.
Billy, certainly a truly historic season for Johnny Manziel. How far-reaching of an impact has Johnny winning the Heisman already had on the A&M brand?
Well, first of all, walking through the streets of Tuscaloosa on November 10th, you had Alabama fans high-fiving anyone wearing a Texas A&M shirt, saying Johnny football, and you know, he transcends Texas A&M, which A&M hasn't had an athlete like that. I can't even go back to when, because you look at Oklahoma and Adrian Peterson and the Heisman Trophy winners and Jason White and Sam Bradford, and you look at Texas, and I'm pointing out Texas A&M's chief competitors in this region. You look at Texas and Ricky Williams and Vince Youngs and Kevin Durant, and A&M hasn't had an athlete like that just captures the imagination of the entire country. So what he's done for the brand in, let's say, a month, and the exposure for Texas A&M and Aggie football during that 1 month probably trumps anything that's happened in the last 20 years combined.
When we return, we'll talk a little recruiting, and we'll hit on some keys to victory for Texas A&M entering Friday's matchup with Oklahoma here at Cowboy Stadium. You're watching the TexAgs Cotton Bowl Preview Special.
The TexAgs Cotton Bowl Preview Special is presented by the 12th Man Foundation, funding scholarships, programs, and facilities in support of championship athletics.
Welcome back to Cowboy Stadium for the TexAgs Cotton Bowl Preview Special. Billy, as we close out the program here, let's talk a little bit about recruiting and the impact of the hiring of Kevin Sumlin, the move to the SEC, and the success that A&M had in the SEC in year one, a 10-2 season, a Heisman Trophy winner. What has that had in recruiting?
Well, I think the results speak for themselves. If you look at the way, you talk about the hire of Kevin Sumlin and the staff he put together, you look at the way they closed out the 2012 class, adding some guys that are playing key roles right now on this football team. And then you look at, they stormed out of the gates in 2013 and really had a good portion of that class wrapped up before the season started. So now what's happening is Texas A&M is in the unique and might I say rare position of having guys banging on the door, and there's not enough room at the end right now. And Texas A&M has a numbers issue because they're doing so well in recruiting. They're having to turn away players that in years past A&M would have welcomed with open arms and probably turned backflips over to get. Now you're looking at what lies ahead in the 2014 class. They're already up to 6 commitments for that group. It's going to be a smaller class. In the last month, Gabe, when things really started going, from early November until now, let's say, they've signed 5 highly regarded junior college prospects that'll all be there at the midterm. And they've added the number 1 and number 2 player in the state for not just 2013, but 2014 as well. You have Ricky Seals-Jones out of Sealy from 2013, and Justin Manning, the defensive tackle out of Dallas Kimball. They go 1-2 in 2013. And then during that same time frame, A&M goes to LaPorte High School outside of Houston and gets Jose Scott. And then they come back up to Dallas, Lancaster, and grab Nick Harvey. So again, I've never seen anything like it in terms of momentum for Texas A&M's recruiting efforts. They're recruiting with the big boys, not just in the SEC, but nationally. And maybe as important as anything else, right now for the first time since Mac Brown, someone asked me, have you seen anything like this since you've been covering recruiting? And the answer is a simple yes, I have. But I haven't seen it in College Station, and I've seen it very few places. But where I did see it was in Austin when Mack Brown arrived prior to the '98 season, had Ricky Williams win a Heisman. They had a surprising 9-3 season. They knocked off a #1 Nebraska, and then just the recruiting role started after that, and there was no stopping it for a good solid decade. Texas A&M and Kevin Sumlin have that kind of momentum going right now on the recruiting front, and it's been kind of remarkable to see it kind of dust up that quickly.
And then finally, as we close out the program, give me 1 or 2 keys to victory for A&M against the Sooners.
I think it starts with this. For A&M, dominate along the offensive line again, as they've been doing throughout most of the season. If they can do that, and you give Johnny Manziel time to find Ryan Swope, Mike Evans in that receiving core, and you create holes for Kristen Michael and Ben Molina against an Oklahoma defense that ranks 80th in the country against the run. If that O-line, if Oklahoma's defensive front can't hold up, and I mean the front 7, against its Aggie offensive line, then I think the best OU hopes for is to win a shootout. If they can hold up, then that's where Oklahoma's chance for victory comes in. If they surprise and they win the battle in the trenches. And the other key for A&M defensively, if Landry Jones has time to sit on that spot and not move, and he can just stand back there and throw the football, there's no one better in college football as a passer. And those weapons he's got at wide receiver, they're not good, they're incredible. It's the best passing quarterback and the best receiving core A&M's seen this year by far. And if Landry can sit back there and survey the field, then you are going to have probably one of those shootout, unforgettable Cotton Bowls. If Texas A&M can generate pressure, and maybe it's an inspired DeMontre Moore in his last game in a Texas A&M uniform, if they can generate pressure and make Landry Jones move to his left or right and throw on the run, the statistics bear it out. He's half the passer he is when he's stationary and can survey the field. So that's the key for A&M, generate pressure on defense. And then offensively for the Aggies, it's just keep doing what you're doing. And I think the pressure's on Oklahoma in that instance to change that.
That'll do it for us here at Cowboy Stadium, where Texas A&M will take on Oklahoma Friday at 7 o'clock. For Billy Lucci, I'm Gabe Bach.
Thanks for watching the TexAgs Cotton Bowl Preview Special, presented by the 12th Man Foundation. For all the latest news and recruiting info of Texas A&M football, log on to TexAgs.com.